All right, we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the seventh. Is it? I lost count anymore. That means that we're. Oh, it is. Thanks, Gina. Seventh weekly meeting of the working group for the merge request report widgets. Yay! All right. So I want to start it off by announcing or sharing the accomplishment of merging the first rewritten widget. Peyton, thank you so much for working on that. Thanks, Phil, for also helping and collaborating on that. It's exciting to see, if you follow the link on the agenda, you can see both widgets side by side, and it's obvious. It's obvious the result and the impact that this effort is going to have, and I'm excited to see this. So more of this, please. And I know that there's some alignments, right, Phil? There's some alignments that are still off, that we're still working out the kinks. So thanks, UX, for supporting there too. Looking really good already. While I was testing this, I did get a feeling that the chevron button is a little bit too discrete, but it might be just me, just old habits. But I guess we'll learn from the usage as we go. Right. Any other announcements that I might have missed? Anything that you want to announce to the group?
We have a place that the discussion for this review is currently happening, like for this widget, or is it just like, depends on the issue that they find? I just don't want to like create an issue or like if it's already being worked on elsewhere.
That's a good question. So I think there was an issue for rewriting that widget. I'm not sure if the widget is already open. I think that's also Gina's point, isn't it? Or is that the epic?
Yeah, so I don't know, Scott, if you were talking about the review as in like design wise, or if you were talking about code review.
No, design wise. Yeah, the code we reviewed and merged, right? But like design wise, like for instance, if you hover over the chevron expand, it has like a weird tooltip that's not very useful for a customer. I don't know if that's like a known thing or
so the tooltip that says show and hide details, is that what you mean? Yeah, that's based off of the spec. But to your point, let me just get the link. If you look in the agenda, I added a link where I'm creating threads on that epic that I just put it in chat as well. I'm creating threads per widget because some of the stuff I just could not get up and running on my local to review. So it's easier to review that stuff once it's already merged and behind that feature flag. So I've created a table basically with the points that I found that may still be needed to be updated, and then a status of if they're updated or not, and then a link if I needed additional issues or MRs to reference. So that's where I have been leaving feedback thus far.
Okay, that's a good place. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's useful so that we can all send our feedback there if we have and see the ones already identified. Cool. Diana, you have an announcement.
Yeah, Gina is here. We already talking. Gina. I just wanted to say, yeah, welcome, Gina.
Talk about hitting the ground running. Welcome, Gina.
I think this is the first call. I'm not sure if you were here last week. But yeah, so I think everyone knows here. Gina is the product designer for testing and runner, and she'll be the one leading, as she's already doing, the UX review and everything for the testing widget. I just want to say, welcome, Gina.
Awesome.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
And with that, Gina, we move over to your point. If you have anything else, if you haven't said it all, but please go ahead.
Yeah, I guess it was more of my point was just making sure that this is an okay way to communicate the findings that I find once stuff is merged. I will just share my screen so we're not looking at blank screen. But this is what I ended up doing is I added a thread to this epic because a lot of these are covered in the core component. after I discussed this with Peyton. And so I'm just adding like current state, what it should be, and then a relevant link to where that thing is going to be fixed. And if there is not an issue that's already open to fix that, I've just been creating them, which also maybe we should, like, if I should not create more issues in this epic, let me know and I'll stop. I just felt like maybe that would be the best next step forward.
I think this is an awesome way to track, right, exactly what needs to be improved. Gina, maybe you can add this to the issue description rather than as a comment, right? Because then if something's solved, you can update that, and it's also easier to spot. Sorry, not I think there's an epic description, or the issue description that you have for each individual widget. But anyways, this is just my first thought. Maybe actually going to be working with the engineering. So maybe you folks have a different opinion on that.
Yeah, I think this is a good place. We have two epics. One is for the core widget, and the other is for the rewriting of the widgets. And this is the right epic to address UX framework support in the core widget. So this feels like the perfect place. I'll just ask to try to use the same label so that we have the label we have for the working group. Make sure that the issues you create, issues or MRs, whatever, try to use the same label so that we're trying to keep everything searchable and findable. But if you attach it to the epic, that's already a good place. Yeah, I don't know. Phil, does that work for you?
Yep.
Cool. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Great. And I know there's another MR that's open for another widget that was already done. So I'm going to go through that today as well.
And then you go open a thread in this one with any defects that might get merged. Perfect. All right. Then we're rolling.
So yeah, I've been trying to look at the screenshots provided and giving like immediate feedback in that specific MR, which seemed to work last time with Peyton as well. And then if there's additional things that I notice after it's merged, then I'll open a thread again. I can just open a thread and just be like, this is fine, if that's helpful as well.
No, I think that's right. If it's feedback that it's able to address before merge, the MR is the right place. Get that worked out. And then as you detect defects, start the thread. If you don't see any thread, there's no defect. I feel like that's
okay.
Good enough.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sweet. Any questions on this? Then if not, I'm trying to think. We are starting to look into the telemetry aspect of it. I'm trying to find an open thing that we're looking into the code review. So this is not anything that we have concluded yet, but we are looking into telemetry and how it affects MR widgets as a whole, which goes beyond the report widgets of this group. This is just as an FYI, that's the place where we're starting to identify the things we want to track with telemetry events. And then we'll be starting to look and how will this look for the consuming widgets? How will they use it? How will they specify what needs to be tracked and any parameters like naming or anything like that? So that is coming. So stay tuned. That's the only thing. I don't know if Phil or Kai want to add anything that I might have left out. Cool. All right. Not only going to look good and be accessible widgets, but we're going to know what's going on. Amazing. All right. Any other points that you might have and you haven't added to the agenda?
Oh, I think you already voiced that labels also add the UX label to merge requests that include UX or UI changes, so that we can track that also as part of the UX department KPIs. Those also help. So 15 or anyone really is reviewing something.
What's the label? It's just UX?
The UX label, yeah. Assign us as reviewers by default using the sidebar. And yeah, if we apply the right labels in the issues, it will just cascade to the MR, but get a heads up.
Perfect. Will do.
Thank you.
And I guess that's it. We have a couple of minutes back. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.